Hello and welcome back to my channel. I'm Tara with Simply Made Eats, and today we are making this yummy pico de gallo recipe. This one is so delicious, it's so easy to make. Let's get started. The first thing I like to do is give my tomatoes and peppers a really good rinse. I love using fresh garden ingredients for this recipe. It's a little early and my garden hasn't started producing yet, so I'm just buying some from the grocery store this time. But I always choose tomatoes that are on the firmer side. This is a Roma and this is a hothouse tomato. Both of them have pretty firm skin. And then as far as the peppers go, I have 2 jalapeños and I have 2 Serrano chilies. And I just want to make sure I'm giving everything a really good rinse. The next thing I want to wash is my cilantro. This is really sandy, this cilantro, so I'm going to make sure that I really give it a good rinse. And then I usually just wrap this up in a paper towel just to get a lot of the wetness out. Okay, so the first thing I like to go at is my tomatoes. So I'm just gonna chop these up into kind of big wedges like this, and then I'm gonna take all the seeds out. I don't want any tomato seeds in my pico de gallo at all. I just want nice, firm tomatoes. This is a hothouse tomato. These were from my grocery store. I think they were like a local tomato, which is always nice because usually they're less expensive. That's one of the reasons why I love seasonal recipes. Okay, so I'm just working away at these still. I'm on my Romas now, which Romas are actually really perfect for this recipe because they have like that nice firm skin. And you can kind of tell at the grocery store whether they're gonna be mealy or not. I always give them like a little, just kind of do this and make sure they're really firm. These are perfect. And another thing that I like to do, this is just a tip, I always buy like 2 extra tomatoes because if I cut them open and they're really mealy, I just toss them. They just don't taste good in pico de gallo like that. Okay, so once our tomatoes are all de-seeded, we're just gonna give our tomatoes a nice medium dice. And these do not need to be perfect. If you like your pico a lot smaller, you can cut it up however you want. There's really like not a whole lot of rules to pico. It's gonna be delicious with the ingredients that we're gonna include, so it doesn't really matter exactly how you cut it. And as you can see, this recipe makes quite a bit of pico, so if you're looking for like a smaller amount, you can definitely cut the recipe in half, but this does stay good in the fridge for a few days, even really up to 4 days. And you can top it on, you know, tacos, chicken, just anything. It's also really great just like for a snack with Tostito chips. It's super versatile. Okay, once our tomatoes are done, we've got them all in the bowl, we're gonna add in a couple cups of cilantro. I love cilantro, so I go heavy on it. Just make sure you get most of the stems out. It's not gonna kill you if there's a couple in there. I've seen people do like the thing where they literally put it through like a cheese grater. I'm like, I could never be that particular. I don't care if I get a little bit of a stem in my cilantro, or in my pico de gallo, it's not gonna kill me. Just make sure you get everything cut up nice and fine, and that way if there is a little bit of stem, it's just a tiny little piece. Okay, we're gonna add this in. Okay, into our bowl, we're gonna add in 1 red onion that is diced, just a medium to small dice. Just chop these up. That goes in. Okay, next we're gonna add in 2 garlic cloves. They're just minced. When you're working with peppers and you don't like a lot of heat, you wanna make sure you take all these seeds and membranes out. So even just this inside white part, like this, I'm trying to pull it out. This little piece will hold a lot of heat in. So if you don't like spicy, make sure you take those out too. And make sure you wash your hands really good after you're done dealing with these, because if you get jalapeno or Serrano chili in your eye, it is not gonna feel good. And then we're gonna cut these really nice and fine. Okay, now we're gonna add in our peppers. And last but not least, we're gonna add in the juice from 2 limes. And you wanna make sure they're pretty good sized limes. If they're really small, then I would use like 3 or 4. This is one of my favorite recipes to make. When my garden's all done, I love using all of the jalapeños and tomatoes and peppers up in this. It's so good. Is anybody growing anything special in your garden this year? Is anybody into gardening? I should ask that question first. I just planted mine a few weeks ago and I'm so excited. I love watching everything grow. It's such a fun process. And then I'm gonna go in with just a half a teaspoon of salt. You can use closer to a teaspoon if you want. And we are just gonna stir this up. And we're gonna let it refrigerate for about 30 minutes to an hour. If you can go longer, that's great. If not, that'll be fine. But those flavors really just marinate together and it makes such a good pico de gallo. Even just like the smell of this smells so fresh and so yummy. Okay, so once my pico is out of the fridge, I'm gonna taste it. My favorite way to eat it is with Tostito scoops. It's not an ad, I just really like them. They're salty and delicious and crispy and so good. All right. It's just so yummy. It really doesn't get fresher than this. So that's it. We are all done with this easy pico de gallo recipe. I hope you guys decide to make it. Make sure to let me know in the comments if you do. This is the perfect spring or summer recipe. It's so good for an appetizer or serve it with a meal. I know you'll love this one. Thanks so much and I will see you next time. Bye.